You see, so many of us get so stuck in the daily trouble that we end up spending all of our time trying to fix it. And we forget what it's like to actually enjoy life. Welcome to the Ignited Recovery Podcast, a new way forward for anyone looking for answers but feeling left out. If you've been searching for empowerment, triumph, and purpose, you've found them right here. You won't hear the same solutions, and you're not going to have any excuses to fall back on, because Ignited Recovery allows heroes to rise and become their best selves. I'm Dr. Adi Jaffe, and I can't wait to be your guide on this journey. Are you ready to become an ignited hero? We've all been hearing about the microbiome and how important it is for our health. It's kind of funny, right? Only 10 years ago, we believed that killing the bacteria on everything was the way to go. I mean, do you remember those sanitizer sprays everywhere? And now we're gradually learning that, surprise, surprise, not really, we actually need the bacteria around us to thrive and even survive. The thing is that everybody's been focusing almost exclusively on the bacteria in your body that helps you digest food. And that is really important because if you can't digest it, you can't live off of the nutrients, and then you develop all sort of GI problems and you have to... Never mind. But research has been showing us an incredible connection between bacteria in your gut and your mental health. Seriously. For instance, studies have shown that the bacteria in the gut of an animal can change its level of depression. And more research is coming out showing that the same exact thing probably plays a role in anxiety, depression, maybe even autism and ADHD. Isn't that amazing? So I did some research and I decided to add a probiotic mix that helps not only mood, but also the communication between my gut and the brain. It's called Amare, and their wellness kit takes care of everything that I need. The probiotics that have been researched to provide actual tangible help, and the prebiotics and everything that those bacteria need to thrive and do their work. I've been using it myself for 3 months, and I gotta say, it's really helped regulate my mood and keep me even. And it's helping me feel less foggy too, especially in the morning. Look, these guys really did their research, and this stuff is top notch. If you want to get it for yourself, just follow the link in our show notes and you can join the mind biome revolution with me. All right, everybody, listen up. Welcome to this week's episode of the Ignited Recovery Secrets podcast. I'm Adi Jaffe, Dr. Jaffe, and I've got a really important topic for you here today. So you're going to want to make sure to have some paper, maybe a pen, or a pencil if you like to erase a lot, but you're going to want to take notes, okay? So I'll give you a moment. You've got to have more fun in life. You got to do it. This is like a homework assignment. It's a must for anybody who's trying to improve their life, and I'll explain why. And it's not just because I spent the day today in a wave pool on a boogie board with my kids, wiping out and trying to do barrel rolls, which if you don't know what those are the ones where you kind of turn to the side, holding the board with you, and then still figure out a way to make it out where you're landing and surfing on the board again. Landed half of one and wiped out. But it's not just because of that. And it's also not just because my kids and I went down this water slide that I didn't even know a thing like this exists. I swear to God. The drop, it's probably like a 50-foot drop that then takes you up this wall. You're outside of the actual slide. You're no longer in a slide. It's this wall of water that you slide up, and then you look down, you're like, oh crap, I'm like 60 feet up in the air right now. You scream your lungs out, and then you fall back down right into the water, and everything is good, and you're safe. And it's not also because we spent like 70 minutes, yes, I said 70 minutes, like a little over an hour, at the arcade playing VR and air hockey and all these other weird little games that are brand new and out now. It's not just because of it all. That's not the only reason why you have to go out and have more fun. The reason is, for a lot of you listening right now, is you forgot what that even feels like. You forgot what it feels like to laugh so hard that you forgot you had trouble. You forgot what it feels like to watch your kid smile from ear to ear, or your friend or your girlfriend or your wife smile from ear to ear just because they're having a good time. You forgot what that feels like for yourself. You see, so many of us get so stuck in the daily trouble that we end up spending all of our time trying to fix it. And we forget what it's like to actually enjoy life. And in the end, relationships, impact, and joy are probably the only things you're working towards. Having the right relationships, the right connections, right? Causing an impact on whatever that is in your life, those relationships, but also maybe on the bigger world, right? Like I'm trying to kind of fix addiction. That's where I'm trying to have my impact. Make people live a more ignited, purposeful life. That's the impact piece. But the other one is joy. You want to enjoy the day-to-day piece. And if you spend all of your time trying to be perfect, trying to perfect your job, your purpose even, or if you're struggling right now, trying to address the struggle, right? Sitting down and having important, radically transparent conversations, or going to a therapist 3 times a week and working on your problems, or saying positive affirmations, or letting more love in through meditation. Those are all great. But what about the fun? What about the joy? What about the ability to tune back into that laughter? You know the one I'm talking about, the one where your stomach hurts after, that you had when you were a kid, before you knew you were supposed to worry about what other people thought about you and what your parents think of the career you chose, or what your girlfriend thinks of the clothes you decided to wear to this dinner party, or any of those kinds of things. Before that was a reality for you, you knew just how to have fun, and you knew how to have fun without anything. You could have fun with an empty bottle of water and 3 friends. Right now, it takes one of the biggest water parks in New York for me to be able to have it, but you got to do it. You simply have to figure out a way to get more joy. I have this exercise that I use in the Hero program a lot and with a lot of my clients called the Wheel of Life. I've talked about it before here. I'm sure we'll have a link for you. And I call it now the Ignited Wheel of Life because we added 2 of my most important slices. The original one has 8 slices, ours has 10, and those are purpose and contribution are the 2 that we added. But I'll tell you that before I ever added those slices in, when I would work with people, almost always you could guarantee, like I would be able to put money on it when a new client would show up, that fun and recreation, which is one of the original slices, would be at like a 0 or 1 or maybe a 2 if we were lucky. And when I even asked people about that, they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, why are you measuring my fun and recreation? I came here because I have addiction problems or relationship problems, or I'm struggling with depression. What's fun and recreation got to do with it? But the thing is that so many of us forgot how to have fun, and we've been focusing on these serious ways to solve our problems for so long. And if we're honest about it, that's also one of those places where alcohol, drugs, porn, sex, casual hooking up, whatever that thing is, that's where it came in, right? It came in place of fun and recreation. I'll never forget, I was sitting in a group one time and I was talking to a client and I said, what are you worried about will happen in your life if you stop drinking? He said, well, I'll stop having fun. And I said, okay, let's break that down a little bit, right? Like, what about drinking is fun? And so we sat down and he had to think about it for a minute. And I said, is it the putting the bottle to your mouth and drinking that is fun? Is it mixing the drink? Is it having a shot? What's fun about drinking? And he thought about it more and he said, well, no, but when I drink, I get to talk to people. I feel more comfortable talking to the people that I'm with. Sometimes I'll even dance. And if I feel really, really good and there's music blaring, maybe I'll sing and dance at the same time. And I said, oh, okay. So fun is being able to talk to people and singing and dancing. That's fun. You just need the alcohol to get there. And then we sat down and we broke it for 45 minutes. We sat down and we understood, why is that true? Why do you need the alcohol to make it possible to dance, talk, and sing with other people? And a lot of you know this, right? If you've ever tried to have a karaoke night or anything like that, so many people tell me, well, I can only do that when I'm wasted. Well, why is that? You know the answer. The answer is because, like I said in the beginning, you care so much about what other people think, about what comes out of your mouth or how you dance, like you didn't when you were a kid. Because when you were a kid, you could dance and sing and just have fun. But at some point, that got lost. And I'm telling you with 100% certainty that unless you figure out how to let that joy in, unless you figure out how to loosen up and enjoy yourself and stop caring so much what everybody thinks, what all those people on Instagram are posting about the way they sing or dance, what your friends on Facebook are sharing about their favorite music, right? Once you remember how to connect back to the way you know how to have fun, you will also have to figure out all those other pieces, like how to not be anxious around others, how to let loose and enjoy yourself. And if that happens, as I talk about in the Abstinence Myth book, then some of the underlying reasons why you even pick up the drink in the first place will go away, and then you won't be focusing on not drinking so much. You'll be focusing on enjoying yourself. So, yes, I'm sending you this message because my family and I are on a quote-unquote working vacation in an amazing new water park. And yes, I managed to both work today and somehow bruise myself because I went on that wave pool surf ride thing way too many times. But when you find an opportunity, when you find a way to load yourself up, to charge up your battery with fun and enjoyment, this is one of those times that my kids and I will talk about for years. Not because anything meaningful came out of this. We didn't solve any big problems. Sophie and I didn't have any important conversations about meaningful topics in our relationship, but we loaded up the fun battery. We loaded up recreation to the point where we're going to feel better. We're all going to feel better. We're all going to enjoy our days more for weeks after this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to find an activity. Think of something that used to bring you a lot of joy. Think of something that you used to enjoy, laugh, roll around with, and then make a commitment to yourself to go do that again. Whether that's going to a comedy show, my family and I, we did one of those escape rooms, a magic room the other day. I will try to come up with a list for you, but help yourself, right? Come up with the list. Stop being so freaking serious all the time. In the end, you will appreciate those times at the comedy show, running around with your family, playing tag, laser tag, frisbee, whatever it is, so much if you just let yourself off the hook every once in a while. So that's my public service announcement for this week. I'm going to go back to the water park, but I wanted to use the reminder I'm getting myself right now to remind you that sometimes it's all about the fun. Have a great week, everybody. If you like any piece of this, don't forget, tag me, tag Ignited, write what your biggest takeaway is. And if you really like it, leave us a review and maybe we'll read it on our Wednesday episode. Love you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ignited Heroes Recovery Podcast. I really hope you found the information here useful and that we'll see you back here next week. And look, I want to make sure that this podcast is the most useful it can be for you, so please let me know by emailing info@ignited.com if there are any specific topics or questions you'd like to have addressed. As usual, if you like this episode, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review and rating. Thanks, and see you next week.